So, first things first, Gianluca, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks to be here. It's a pleasure.
Very good to hear. So, before we talk about the music you're making now, I'd like to go back to the early days. And I read you learned to play the piano from your grandmother.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it. It's my huge regret.
Okay.
Stop having done it. My grandma was Argentinian. She was a piano teacher, and so I started to play piano when I was like 7 years old. And then I went on, but then I was a professional skier, and I had to choose between living in the city, in the town where I was born, or living in the mountains and go on with the skiing career, you know. And I was in love with sports like all young guys, you know. You sit on a piano, a young guy, and you make him suffer, even if the passion is big, you know, was big. And it's my biggest regret. But anyway, I loved it. If I could go back, I would do it again. Now I'm too old to start studying again.
but so, because your grandmother then is a music teacher, so was music always important throughout your life?
Yeah, it was. I mean, music was always important. You know, I have a cousin which is one of the most important composer of contemporary music. His name is Fabio Vacchi. Okay. You can check on internet. He's very big. And I mean, music for me has always been present in my life, you know, because even my mother used to play piano. So I grew up listening classic music in my house because they were always playing, you know, my grandmother, my mother, and then I always danced a lot in my life, I'm very sincere, I'm very honest. I have not a big culture in music, you know, but I feel it. Which I think is the most important. You know, I'm flexible. You know, it's like when you know so many things in life, but you haven't studied a lot. You know, you study, you have culture, but if you're not flexible, culture doesn't mean anything. You know.
Right. So when did electronic music kind of get into everything? When did you start to be interested in it?
I mean, I was always fascinated by the DJ role. Okay. I mean, I was watching and I was in love with the idea that they could animate a crowd, you know. Because in life I'm very interested in vibes, you know, in sharing vibes and give and establish a kind of conversation, or with a single person or with a plural entity of people, like in social media, for example, or with the crowd. So it was almost natural. I was watching always these DJs, like when I was watching helicopter pilots, and I was so attracted by this, and then I became an helicopter pilot, you know. And I was watching, and I was so interested about these, you know. Then the kind of music I think is important, but is secondary for me. Because for me, the most important thing is the vibe, you know. Of course, the music you share with people is fundamental for the kind of vibe you want to share with, but is not the first thing.
So, what kind of, well, you mentioned the communication with people, so what kind of vibe, what kind of mood do you want to give people?
I mean, I have the 88% more or less of the people that are following me that are between 18 and 45 years old. Okay, and what I see, I mean, just observing society, is that from 18, let's say, to 25, 30, young people live a kind of lack of identification. You know, when we're young, we need someone to identify with. We need a kind of role model. So, first of all, I don't pretend to be a role model, but I want to show myself without any filter and without any mask. And then young people do what they want when they see me. But what I would love them to think is that there's always time to change, there's always time to hope, there's always time to dream. You know, because young people now, I mean, have reduced their entity of their dreams. You know, what I achieved in life, I did because I was believing in dreams. So what I would like them to to catch for me is the capability of put yourself always in discussion and expose yourself to the judge of people because you want to fight for something, for a dream, you know. And because, for example, you know me, I started DJing at 49.
Right.
And I didn't need absolutely, because my economical career was so much of satisfaction, you know. And I find many people that when they meet me, they say, but why you DJ? You don't need it. It's not a question of you need. It's a question of passion, you know. It's a question of being hungry, of being curious. So what I want them to share with them is just the capability of having a dream. Of you know, they renounce in life. They renounce too easy.
Right.
They have to keep going, hoping that life can bring the opportunity, because the opportunity is gonna pass, for sure.
I find that very, very interesting because, like you say, you don't have to DJ if you don't want to.
No.
But it's something you like, so you follow that passion. What have you discovered about yourself by pursuing that passion of making music? And is there something that you've realized about yourself?
I'm you know, in life I learned so much about all bad experience I had, because you know that you learn more from bad experiences than from good ones. But the period in which I learned more, of course, is the one between 46 and 50, which is the last 4 years on social media, because of course, once you have a continuous relationship with a crowd, and first in social media, then now in DJing, of course, you share experience continuously and you learn. For example, the biggest thing I modified is that I had a kind of character that I was like exploding for everything, you know,
Right.
and I was like really like a bomb. And the relationship between people, make me understood that, you know, you have to listen, you have to calm down, you have to. And what instead what DJing is teaching me is that sharing the moment of happiness is unbelievable, you know? And trying to give them the right song in the right moment is something that gives me a satisfaction which is unbelievable, because it's like giving the right answer to the question they're asking to you, you know?
So far, what has been one of the highlights of your DJing career? Is there something that sticks out? Maybe a show, maybe a moment on stage?
That I already lived, you mean?
Yeah, that kind of sticks out for you, that you've already.
You know, it's so like sparkling, it's so enthusiasm. I have so much enthusiasm in living things at my age for the first time that I don't have at a specific moment, because any moment of my beginning has been enthusiastic, you know, and it's been unbelievable. So there's no maybe, you know, when you do the first DJ set and you are kind of 49 towards 50, you expose yourself to the judge of many young people, and that's the most important thing. The biggest highlight was maybe the first 2-3 DJ set, which, you know, even if I did so many important things in life, the first 2-3 DJs, the hands were like, you know, shaking, and then and I learned a lot from that.
But that's a good point, because with like you have a big social media following comes maybe certain expectations. Do you feel that people have certain expectations of you?
I think that people in Italy, they're like, you know, they're watching me like if someone of my age could not do what I'm doing, you know, because the world there is very closed, is very conventional, is very bourgeois, is very outside. They're open. So what I see is that everybody is expecting me to share positive vibe, because they're used to see me sharing positive vibe with the crowd. But what I love of foreign markets, let's say foreign countries, is that they don't have expectations. It's just listening. and then they judge eventually. In Italy it was different, you know. In Italy it's different because in Italy, you know, it's a country where everybody is envious, they hate success of other people. I mean, but I totally don't care. So I mean, I went even in Italy, you know, and then at the end they were happy because they think that because I am popular and I am a celebrity, I pretend to be a DJ. It's not like this.
Right.
I want to be a DJ if my commitment and my efforts are every day bigger and bigger to become like, you know, a DJ. You understand? So of course, being so popular is a kind of shortcut, but this doesn't mean that for me I have less commitment and I want to make it easier. You know, because I'm so critical with myself. You know? I studied 5-6 hours a day the first month. You know, the first month, plural, not 1 month, you know, because it's normal. So I'm even happy about the way, in general, people are open to listen at me.
So with that in mind then, and this is going to be the final question, but what are your goals? Because obviously you don't need the money. What are your goals in terms of in music and also what you want?
Do something interesting. Do something interesting. What I think is that now what's happening, for example, is that, in my opinion, there is this big trend that is bringing reggaeton towards hip hop. You know, and I love, you know, kind of Latin mood.
Right.
So what I would like is to be one of the witnesses or one of the people that contribute to create this, you know, like for example with Mi Gente, you know, what they did is evident. You know, with Despacito, what they did is evident. You know, Justin Bieber and Beyonce. So it's evident that. Yeah, and I would love to. I mean, I would love to study that kind of phenomenon and see where, you know, we can add something. You know, but I mean, I want to do something interesting now. But every day the world changes. My perspective changes, and so I can change every day. But I want to leave something interesting. I want to do something interesting. Otherwise, you know, I want to do things well. Then results come for sure. You know, even with my previous life, I did like this. You know, and my target was never the money. It was doing things done well, and then money came. You know.
I think that's a good ending.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, my philosophy is that. So.
Thank you very much for your time,
Thank you.
All right.